Quick start for Kobe Iwaasa as he takes the first point. Number 2 seed facing the number 7 seed Lee Connell. Tim Baghurst joining you for this men's quarterfinal alongside Mitch Braley. Mitch, what can we expect in this match?
Well, this matchup here is one that has happened a number of times the past couple of years. You know, Iwaasa usually being that number 2 seed, Connell the number 7 seed. So the way the draw works, they're usually facing each other. Iwaasa's had the better of this matchup. I don't know if Connell's ever beaten him in the last few years. You're going to see a lot of great drive serving from Iwaasa here. Very aggressive play, and Connell some great gets. He's going to stay tough. He's a great competitor, so should be some exciting high-paced racquetball.
Well, you're seeing it right here, and Connell skips it into the floor. Two serving 0. We mentioned Connell and his ability to hit that forehand. How about that for a serve, though? Crunching winner over on the left side, untouched by Connell. 3 quick points for the number 2 seed, just what he wanted to start this match. Side out. We've mentioned that Connell is a bit streaky when he plays. He can hit amazing shots and then skip a few in a row. Iwaasa is pure power for the most part.
He is a lot more consistent, which reflects in both his rank and the results he's had in the past. He relies on that drive serve to just get himself in the rally on a strong foot, get a weak return. He loves 3-shot racquetball, so Connell's going to have to find a way to make tough returns and just get into these rallies and really grind.
And look at the reach, the quickness of Iwaasa to jump over to the right side. That looked like it was going to be behind him. He composed himself well on another point.
We talk about forehand winners from Connell that we've seen throughout the week here, but that would have been a winner on anyone else, and instead Iwaasa, not only did he get the ball, but he killed it as well.
Not that time. Side out. Quick start to this match. This is the 3rd men's quarterfinal we've streamed today. We have one more coming up after this, of course. And again, great quickness from Iwaasa. Knew exactly what Connell was going to do and was there as the ball came back to him. That time the serve a little loose.
Just a little bit, and you can see the margin for error isn't very big here. I mean, it was still a fast serve, a hard hit serve, came off just a little bit, and Connell punished Iwaasa for it.
Emotional player, Connell.
He really is. No, he's a lot of fun to watch. And I'm sure this quarterfinal here, it's a big match, so we're going to see a lot of fireworks from him.
Still, Iwaasa making Connell hit just another shot.
He does that rally in, rally out. Iwaasa just gets his racket on a few more balls than most people would, puts so much pressure on knowing you have to make, or makes his opponent think they have to hit a perfect shot to win every rally.
That time, Connell hits the forehand pinch winner, gives him a point. Let's see if that settles him down. And if you're just joining us, a reminder, this is quarterfinal number 3. We have one more coming up Appreciate those of you who shared on our feed. Flick of the wrist. Iwaasa plays with a lot of power. Hits it really hard, and it's hard to explain unless you're here watching in person.
You can just hear the difference between his drive serves and his forehand that exists from what other players are shooting. It's coming in really hot, and that extra few miles an hour means his opponents have less time to react and makes his shots just that much better, that much more effective.
That serve was a little loose, though. Connell dealt with it really well. If he can play clean, I think he has a chance to stay competitive in this match. It's really going to be down to whether he makes those mistakes.
And he's played well so far.
Absolutely. But that's a clean winner from Iwaasa. Official for this match is the tournament director, Adrian Webb. Connell looks like he's being coached by Lauren Prentice. Over to my left, Kobe Iwaasa is being coached by Corey Osborne, one of the Canadian national coaches. Now Connell gets his chance and puts it down. This is the start he wanted. Yeah, he's down 3-5, but he's shown that he's here to compete. We talked about the last match where it just kind of looked a bit one-sided, almost, you know, a player not really investing their effort in the match. Here we see two players who really want to go for it.
Yeah, and you have to give Connell credit here. He's coming in as the lower seed. He hasn't beaten Iwaasa these past few years, past few events, but he's in here. He's playing tough. Looks like he wants to win this. He believes he can win this, and he's playing as tough as he possibly can right now.
What a great jam serve. Great example of how you can hit it, put your opponent off balance. Connell skips one into the floor. Couple quick points for the number 2 seed. And another skip on that forehand side from Connell. I like this from Connell, just slowing things down, composing himself.
Yeah, it's good he's doing the things he needs to do to win the match. So it shows that he's not down and out. He doesn't care that he's playing a higher seed, someone that has Iwaasa's pedigree behind him, or match experience and wins. He doesn't care. He's here to play, and he's gonna execute his game plan as best he can.
Well, our official called 3 walls, that it hit the back wall. It didn't, and Connell actually was looking for a screen serve. Either way, he got a second serve and a skip from Iwaasa. Kill shot from Connell on the forehand side. Mitch, you're playing somebody like Iwaasa. They hit it very hard, very flat, very low. What kind of strategy do you have against someone like that?
I think what we saw from Connell there, we mentioned already, keeping that racket up for that close to that full 10 seconds between points. Iwaasa likes to play fast. You're going to see he's going to get in that service box and be ready to serve right away here. So slow that tempo down. Hopefully force him to hit a few short serves just because it's an uncomfortable pace for him. Take that serve away as a weapon. Go to the ceiling. Slow it down. Get in the rally. Play percentages.
Well, you saw he lunged at that, didn't move his feet towards the ball. He's talking to himself in the backcourt. Like you said, he's taking his time, smart strategy, an experienced player as well. But look at those hands from Iwaasa. Just flies over, flick of the wrist. I mean, it's so quick.
And credit to Iwaasa. I mean, he knows that, Connell here, any opponent he plays wants to slow the tempo down and take away that drive serve and that pace. You can see he's ready to hit that drive serve already. So he's just going to make sure he focuses on that serve, hits it as hard as he can, crisp as he can, and then hit that good follow-up third shot.
Timeout on the court. Just a reminder, we'll take a quick look at our schedule. We have one more match coming up after this. It's probably the one I've been looking forward to the most, Mitch. We saw Curtis Cullen playing yesterday, and he was just flat out on fire, cranking the ball, and he's going to be playing the number 2 seed Samuel Murray.
I'm most excited for that one as well, I have to say myself, Tim. I mean, I look at it now, and you have Samuel Murray, who's had such a great season on the Pro Tour. He's won both national selection events here in Canada, so he's been the top player in the country for close to a year now. He's seeking his first national title. You have Curtis Cullen, who I've talked to him a lot. I'm actually rooming with him here. He said he hasn't been playing a lot coming into this, so he's loose. He's hitting the ball hard. He's here to have fun, but it's dangerous playing a guy like that who has nothing to lose. He's just coming in. He's just having fun, and he's going to swing freely and just go for some tough shots and put the pressure on Samuel Murray, who's here and has all this training riding on it and the pressure of the moment in that match there. So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic to watch and should be a fantastic match, much like the one we're watching here.
9 serves 4.
Well, we're back in 9 serving 4. Connell, the heavy underdog. Smart timeout. We'll see if it worked in his favor. He got what he wanted, didn't he? He returned it, came up off the back wall, and again just went for a little too much, and you feel maybe Connell trying to go for too much because Iwaasa is just so fast.
Well, you have to wonder, every ball that Connell hasn't flat rolled in the front wall, Iwaasa's got it, so he knows he has to make a perfect shot if he's gonna win the rally, or at least that's how he feels. So that draws out the skips.
Iwaasa hoping for a broken ball. It's not. That's a side out. The difference in power between those two jam serves dictated what happened. Iwaasa hit one. Connell got all twisted up, buried one in the floor. That one so much slower compared to Iwaasa's, allowing Kobe Iwaasa to turn around and hit it straight down the line.
You can hear the difference on it, but if you're going to hit a jam serve at this level, it has to be hard, unless your angle is absolutely perfect, or else it's not going to be effective. They have too much time to see it coming, adjust to it, and then make the shot that we just saw a couple rallies ago.
I'm not sure if it's 4-9 or 4-10. Hard to hear our official from here. Wow. Good serve called.
Second serve. Thanks, Lee.
Well, Lee Connell admits to a second serve. That's really nice to see. We've talked about the sportsmanship in this tournament. There's another great example.
And especially nice, I mean, he's such a tough competitor, loves to play his best and play tough, and for him to do that is just a testament to the sportsmanship that he has and a lot of these players have.
5 serves 10.
Great forehand pinch winner 5 serving 10. Another skip from Connell. 6 skips in this first game compared to Iwaasa's 1. It's amazing how that count correlates to scores.
Interesting to see. It's 5 more skips from Lee Connell, 6 more skips from Lee Connell, and Iwaasa up 6 points.
11 serves 5.
Connell not a frequent hitter of the ceiling ball by all intents and purposes. Rips the forehand winner, side out.
5 serves 11.
Another skip from Connell. You see his expression.
He knows he had his chance there, but I mean, I had the opportunity to play Iwaasa a couple months ago, and I know how it feels when you finally get a setup. You feel like you have to make a perfect shot, even though it's an easy shot. Playing someone at that caliber makes it that much tougher to execute and put the ball away.
That was wet, says Connell. Well, wet balls don't count during the rally. The reality is that it's a wet ball for everybody in there, and you've got to kind of overcome that little situation and accept that, you know, things like that are going to happen in a match.
Yeah, and it's been the situation all tournament here where the court's very humid, it's very wet, so you have to remember that you get a wet ball bounce against you, it's probably going to happen to your opponent as well. And just, it's in the past, get out of your mind and focus on the next rally at hand.
So Connell's down 12-5 in the first game. He takes his second and final timeout. A really quick start to this match. If you look at the timeline back in, 17 minutes. But from our position here, we see that Iwaasa's hitting with power, as he always does, moving very quickly. Connell is trying to equal that power. Does he need to think about maybe changing his strategy and saying, you know what, instead of trying to hit that drive serve really hard, which Iwaasa is able to run around on or attack freely, maybe hit some junk lobs, maybe hit some ceiling balls, maybe hit some around the worlds and force Iwaasa to shoot from the back.
I think so. I mean, the last thing Connell wants to do is get stuck in that mode of let's see who can hit it harder, because we know who's going to win that every single time. So instead of overhitting the ball and starting to fly balls or make mistakes, bring it back, slow the game down a little bit, and just hit good, crisp passes, and don't get sucked into Iwaasa's high-paced game.
There's a great example of that jam serve and Connell's inability to move his feet. Unless it's a broken ball. Oh my goodness, a broken. There's no way that ball should hit me, says Connell. I think he's glad it's broken because that's a replay.
And that's a good shot from Connell. He didn't put too much on that ball, just kept it flat and put it away, and that's exactly what he needs to do on a loose serve from Iwaasa. Frustrating from Connell. He goes to the ceiling there, tries to play a more high percentage, safer game instead of going for too much, but Iwaasa roll again off the back wall. Didn't have much there, but still got under it and buried a pinch in the front right corner. And follows it up with a fantastic crack serve. 2 points away from this first game. Connell looks at the light in frustration. Thinks it took a funny bounce off the light for a skip, but I think just as frustrated with the consistent, fantastic serves that Iwaasa has thrown at him this entire first game.
That's a good shot. I like how he composed himself on game point. Again, slowing things down, jumping around a little bit, just trying to gain some self-belief. It's one of those things where we talked about in other matches we didn't see very much of today. He's still fighting. You know that he's still going to fight all the way through this match.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fist pump even at 14-5. It shows you still believe you can win. Just keep executing your shots, keep going for it. So I love the positivity. I think it's a really good sign for Connell, even though this game probably isn't going to go his way.
There's the ceiling ball from Connell. And again, but they're both loose. Wow. Flick of the wrist. Iwaasa takes the first. 15-5. We're going to take a couple minutes to regroup. We're going to be back for the resumption of game 2.
Okay, guys. Time in. Lee serve. Score 0-0.
We're back in, everybody. Tim Baghurst, Mitch Braley. Second game in this third quarterfinal of the day in the men's open division at the national championships. Connell lost the first 15-5, and that's not a good way to start the second game, hitting a loose serve like that.
No, and I think that first game was important for Connell too, just to build the confidence and not necessarily win it, but keep it a bit tighter than it was. So Iwaasa seems to be very comfortable. He's executing his game plan, and everything's going his way right now.
First skip of the second game for Connell. We'll keep an eye on those skips. That's just ridiculous from Iwaasa. Just crunching that return straight down the line. Textbook racquetball. 2 serving 0. Three serving 0. What a serve. I really love how Iwaasa attacks balls that are loose down the middle. It's a very hard skill to execute, and he does it so well.
And that's, you know, part of what make puts him at the level that he's at. He doesn't give you any time. He cuts any ball off he can. He stays aggressive on short balls, and he just takes away so much time. He doesn't have to hit a perfect shot when he cuts it off because he's got so much power and such a good angle. And now as an opponent, you're thinking, instead of leaving it, I can't get into good core position. He's cutting it off, and I have to be that much more ready for every single shot he's going to hit. He puts so much pressure on every single rally.
I really like this timeout from Connell, though. 4 quick points just like that. A lot of players don't take that timeout when they need it. Connell seems to be a very experienced player to say, you know what, things aren't going the way I wanted them to. I'm going to take this timeout now. I'm not going to wait till I'm 7-0, 8-0, or something like that. Take it when you need it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it still shows that he believes he can be right in this. So he's doing everything he can possibly do, both on the court. I mean, he's scrapping rallies, he's making gets, he's still swinging at the ball, but he's also doing it from a game plan and strategy perspective, talking to Coach Lauren Prentice in his corner, saying, what can I do to get into this and make sure I don't let this game here get out of hand.
So we're back in 4-0. Iwaasa crunching the drive serve down the left. Let's see if he slides one in on the right at some point in this match. Again, Iwaasa's serves are coming up off the back wall a little too much, in my opinion.
And that's what's tough when you hit it so hard. Your angle has to be almost perfect, or your height, or else it's going to come off the back and be a setup for your opponent.
It's a terrific effort from Connell to get that ball back. Iwaasa keeps his composure, just guides it down the left side, knowing Connell's on the floor.
Good soft hands. Knew he didn't have to do too much with it, and he makes a nice poke into that left corner.
It's difficult to do sometimes, though, Mitch, knowing that your opponent's on the floor, and so you get a little casual maybe, instead of just focusing on finishing that shot.
Yeah, you know, logic would dictate that's one of the easier shots. Your opponent's on the floor, you have the entire court open, but it's so tough to mentally focus and not waver a bit. No, I just have to make a simple shot to win this rally.
Again, attacking that return in the service box, not letting it bounce. Another point for Iwaasa and the number 2 seed. Point given, 6 serving 0, ace serve. Connell doesn't like it. You can see, well, you can't see it, we can. The little wry smile he gives our head official, Adrian Webb. He didn't like that call. Six serving 0. Well, I'm not sure what. Looks like the ball bounced and hit the encroachment line, and there was a big, well, not a big, but there was a discussion about whether it did or didn't hit the line. Very hard for the official to see from that angle. Looks like we're replaying. Zero serving 7. Not the start Connell wanted in this second game. Let's see what he comes up with on a serve. Foot fault called. We haven't heard that this week.
Well, credit to you know, tournament director and referee for this match, Adrian Webb, for his keen eyes to be watching for that, and it's a smart call.
Assuming it's the correct one, Mitch.
I hope so.
Wow, a rare skip from Iwaasa. First of game number 2. Skip called on Connell. Iwaasa says, no, I didn't skip. Let's replay that. Again, it's great to see these two having fair play.
No, they're both. We already talked about Connell, but Iwaasa just as fair, just as good of a sportsman. So really nice to see between the two of them.
Switch to a lob serve for Connell. Oh my gosh, just ripped it. Ball bounced to the middle. Eight serving one. Not that time, Iwaasa. He was close. Sprawls in the back. Side out. You can hear Connell talking to himself. Beautiful from Connell. Hits a ripping forehand pinch winner. Hey, Trevor. Do you drink coffee when you play?
Do I what?
Drink coffee when you play?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't when I work.
Respect that.
Mitch is an amateur though, so.
You gotta teach him shoulder.
Well, look at the expression on Connell's face. One of just complete unfairness. We're really enjoying this match. There's plenty of fans all around us. Lots of humor, lots of just appreciation of the talent on display here. Another skip from Connell. Mitch, you just feel like he's just going for way too much.
He is. I mean, Iwaasa's court coverage has been absolutely phenomenal right now. So Connell feels that he has to make, and that's another example there, perfect shots to win the rallies, or else Iwaasa's going to get a racket and do something super offensive, super aggressive, and win the rally.
We have a timeout on the court. It's probably a wise timeout given the frustration and the errors that are creeping into Connell's game again in game two. We look at the skip count, 6-1. It kind of highlights the differential. We saw it in game one. It was 9-1 in terms of Connell having way more skips than Iwaasa, which really is incredible considering how hard Iwaasa hits the ball.
And I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, Iwaasa's up 1-0. He's up 9-2 in this game. He's only skipped the ball twice, maybe 3 times, made mistakes, but he's going for such offensive shots that's so impressive to have such a low error count here with the type of aggressive shots he's going for. He's really executing well. Connell, to Iwaasa's testament, has 6 skips, but a few of those run his serve, but Iwaasa up 9-2, so it just shows that Iwaasa's been finishing rallies really effectively the entire match, and I don't see him stopping anytime soon, regardless of a timeout from Connell here.
Iwaasa put so much pressure on Connell, on his opponents, to hit it perfectly every time. Well, that time he gets one. Little apology from him. I think it was more of a mishit than anything. He'll take it, gets back in the box. 2 serving 10. Iwaasa, a member of the Canadian team at the Pan Am Championships 3 years ago. Okay, so there was a little confusion there because our official just forgot who was serving. So a point for Connell, who played through Iwaasa standing right in front of him. It's one of those situations, Mitch. If you hold up, you may get a replay rather than an avoidable, and so he just kept playing.
Yeah, I think that might have been an experience move from him, knowing it wasn't a setup, but he did have that open court with Iwaasa out of position, so played through it and worked in his favor that time.
Well, you can see Iwaasa when he walks back always looks to the right. He's looking at his cousin Alexis Iwaasa and coach Corey Osborne, who were there in attendance supporting him. Iwaasa just jumps on it. He knows what Connell's going to do, and he's almost moving before Connell hits it.
His anticipation is just so good. I mean, he's already fast to begin with, but couple that with his ability to predict where his opponents are going, and it makes him almost seem superhuman at times.
Just beautiful from Iwaasa. Stuck Connell over on the right side. Forehand pinch was perfect. 11-4, 4 points away from a place in the semifinals. It's a great rally, and Connell wins it going down the left side. Look at that, sliding it right. It looked like he was going left. Clever little change of direction with the wrist.
Just shows how much variety he has. He goes from hit and drive serve 160, 170 miles an hour with that crushing forehand and backhand, and then just taps one into that corner for a winner.
I love the jam serve. He's done it multiple times. And he's had a lot of success. 12-4, 3 points away. I do like Connell's tenacity. I've never seen him play before live, and I do love the fact that he competes for every point. Doesn't matter the score. There's a great shot down the right side.
No, you have to respect him. I mean, there's a lot that young players coming up too can learn from him. He never gives up, regardless of the score line, regardless of how many games he's down or who he's playing. So, you know, hats off to Connell for playing every single point like it's his last, like it's a match point. He doesn't want to give up easy.
Great serve. He loves that forehand pinch, though. Iwaasa all over it, knew it was coming. Straight down the line would have got him the point.
Yeah, and we saw that yesterday in his round of 16 match. He hit that pinch really well, but switched to some down the lines to finish the match off. Right now, he hasn't been able to find a shot that works consistently, and Iwaasa's punished him for anything loose.
Another skip from the racket of Connell. Just a reminder, coming up, Samuel Murray, Curtis Cullen. You may not be familiar with Cullen. He's had some time off with studies, etc., but he put on a show yesterday. If he can play the same way today, it'll be quite a match. Finally, Connell puts it down. The crowd around us love it. You can hear the applause. Great entertainment here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We're at the Duckworth Center at the University of Winnipeg. We appreciate all the local organizing committee who've put this together and the volunteers all around us who've made sure this has been a great event. Iwaasa knew where he was going, was just a little bit too slow. 5 serving 13. so unlucky. Great effort from Connell. Just not quite able to hit that front wall. We have had women's semifinals today. Final has been decided. It'll be Saunders against Richardson. Mitch, what's your take? That'll be on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the history between those two. I know Richardson's had some close matches with Saunders these last couple of years. I don't think she's ever beat her, but I know they've had some win by 2 in Canada here, so they've had some 16-14 games. They've had some neck-and-neck games. I don't think Richardson's ever won a national event, so she'll be looking to take down Saunders, win her first one. So a lot riding on it for both of them. Saunders has obviously a trophy case full of national medals, national trophies, so she'll be looking to add to that, whereas Richardson's hoping to take that title from her. It should be an exciting match and a nice dynamic between a young player versus the experienced Saunders.
Oh my goodness. Iwaasa just, it looked like he slipped and fell. I'm glad he's okay. Situations like that, you can easily damage a knee or something to that effect. Yeah, his right leg just slipped away from him as he went to get that ball. One of those situations, it just takes one instance like that, and you know, a knee goes and you're out for a year. So it's one of those situations where we go, oh, you know, another towel timeout, but we've talked about the importance of making sure the floor is safe for these athletes.
Well, we saw how quickly it can happen with an injury where, you know, Webb hurting his ankle earlier in the doubles there, and how fast you can have an injury that changes your whole tournament. So shows how important it is to keep the courts clean, get that sweat off of there, and keep it safe for everybody.
Well, this time it's Connell who slips, trying to go back. Very humid courts. We saw a match earlier between Castro and Landeryu. Back and forth it went, and they were just covered in sweat. And one of the things Castro said was it felt like I was in the equator. You know, it was so humid on the court, and he said, I think I lost 10 pounds just in sweat because of the humidity. We saw a lot of wet balls. And so, again, it's one of those situations where let's make sure that the court's safe and clean for everybody so that nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, and something I've noticed in there, you know, the difference in body language from Connell and Iwaasa versus that other quarterfinal with Landeryu and Castro is they were using the towel timeouts as a way to recoup themselves, to get a little bit of extra rest, whereas I saw Connell roll his eyes here, knowing he needed the towel timeout, saying, I want to play, I don't want to take this time, I want to just get right back at playing racquetball. So a very different use of the towel timeout. It's necessary, but they don't want it, versus some players do want it to slow the game down and recoup some energy.
Iwaasa 1 point away from this match. Let's see if he can close it out. Short serve. And after 45 minutes, it's Kobe Iwaasa who advances to the semifinal over number 7 seed Lee Connell. The crowd appreciate it here. We hope you did. For now, though, thanks so much for Mitch Braley joining me on the mic and my son Asa for doing the scoreboard for that match. We've got one more coming up, so we're going to leave the stream running, and we'll be back with you in about 10 minutes.